Hey there everybody, Popontop here. I'd like to welcome you to Sherlock Holmes, Crime and Punishments. This is a free game with gold for the month of March in the year 2016, just in case you're watching this video, like, I don't know, 10 years from now or some crazy Back to the Future shit happens. I don't know, who knows? Anyway, free game with gold. If you are a gold subscriber or member or whatever you want to call it on Xbox One, it is free to you for this entire month. Obviously, that's one of the benefits of being gold. I have not played this game at all yet. I've heard it's kind of like a Telltale style adventure game with a lot of mystery and intrigue and stuff, and I wanted to give you some of my first impressions while I'm playing through the game for the first time, and obviously you can make some of your own opinions on whether it's worth maybe using your data if you have like a data cap and you can only download so much, right? Or whatever, if you're interested in downloading it all and playing it for yourself. So let's get into it here. This game features an autosave function. Yes, I understand how autosaves work. Every game tells you that, but I think it's got to warn you that. But, you know, still, autosave. That's cool. Autosave my game. Remember back in the day when you didn't autosave your game? That's crazy stuff. That's some old school nostalgia shit tripping back on me. So, here we are. I assume that's Sherlock Holmes. Welcome, Popontop. Yes, indeed. Let's start a new game. In memory of the Ukrainian Heavenly 100. I'm not sure who the Ukrainian Heavenly 100 are, but... I like how they did it, like a TV show intro almost for this. That's kind of cool, right? Like this is a TV show. The Fate of Black Peter. Deduction space icon indicates that some of your clues can form an important deduction and improve your progress in the investigation. So yeah, obviously Sherlock Holmes, if you don't know who Sherlock Holmes is, he's a famous detective. Fictional detective, but famous. There's a Robert Downey Jr. movie recently with him. And then I guess recently, I'm old as fuck, so maybe that's like 5-6 years ago. But yeah, so he's a detective, and he's very, very keen in the sense of being able to find things. So we're probably gonna, be doing a lot of finding the clues and stuff. We'll see how these things go. I'm sure there'll be some kind of tutorial along as we go, and you'll experience that with me and see how these, the tutorials are usually the best way to show off gameplay because it shows off how the gameplay is taught to you. So it shows you how the systems are in the most basic form. See what happens here. See how the story is and stuff like that too. Loading screens are a little bit. Alright, there we go.
Holmes.
Alright, so we gotta move apparently. Take cover behind the sofa, I guess. Holy shit. Sherlock Holmes is shooting at me.
Holmes, will you stop that?
Take cover behind the table. We gotta get to him, I guess. Please stop shooting at me, Sherlock.
You are utterly mad.
Take cover behind Sherlock, I guess. Just get behind him. If you're shooting his gun around, just take cover behind him. It's fine.
Stop, Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Confident step, clinking handcuffs. Policeman. Ninth step avoided. Inspector Lestrade.
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, He achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone, then.
Alright, press X to open the casebook to check your progress in investigation, tax evidence, etc. Alright, so, to fate of Black Peter, investigate the murder of Peter Carey, inspect the crime scene at Woodman's Lee, select a suit to wear using your personal wardrobe, and join the straw at Woodman's Lee. Got other things here. This is our little map, apparently, we got going on. Evidence. There's a profile of the victim. Obviously, we're going to be collecting some of this stuff along the way. Our dialogue, we can reread in case we want to try to pick up some clues, echoes, character portraits not found. Probably more unlockable stuff. We got to apparently find our wardrobe, though, and get on a suit of some kind. So let's see if we could do that. Mrs. Hudson we could talk to. I don't think that's necessary. Open the door. Open. Oh, B goes in like first person mode? That's crazy. I didn't know. Okay. First person mode. I'd imagine A is open, but it's not. Like X isn't open. Y? Y is not. Okay. Imagination. Y, RB. Okay, that doesn't seem to do anything. It's just like messing up. Door, please. This is bad. I guess the controls are funky. Options. What are the controls? Gameplay. How to play. Perform actions. A, right? I'm pressing A on the door, and it's opening up my book. I don't. Oh, is that like a doorway? That just that's what the doorway leads to. Maybe is that. I imagine maybe that's the case. Door to Watson's room. We can open this. Maybe. Yeah. So we can open the door with A. That door that right back there actually just leads to the map, and that's why I was doing that. That was actually my bad. Which is fine. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm just learning the game. It is pretty, though. The game does have a lot of detail. I was looking at it as it was loading up. It was talking about the Unreal Engine. So that's pretty cool. Unreal Engine is obviously pretty good for graphics and stuff. So let's go to Woodman's Lee.
I cannot leave yet. I am not
Okay, yes, so you need a suit, apparently. I don't know where I'm supposed to get a suit from, Mr. Sherlock. Oh, your door's probably over here, I imagine. It's hidden behind all the fucking books. Alright, so we can get in here. We can imagine this is our wardrobe here. We can wear all different kinds of suits, I imagine. Do we got some fancy outfits? Morning gown, we don't really need a morning gown. Sailor outfit, we have locked. Unbuttoned suit. Casual suit, we have. Black suit. You know, I guess you can kind of customize your Sherlock Holmes a little bit, right? Green suit, a little bit different. Gray suit, light suit. Bandit outfit, farmer outfit. I mean, I guess you unlock some of these later. Casual suit. Right. Black suit. We'll just regular black suit, that's fine. To makeup table, we can go to a makeup table. Do we put like makeup on? We could change our hair and stuff, so you can kind of like customize your Sherlock Holmes to kind of like look like the Sherlock Holmes you would think. Different kind of hairstyles and stuff. He could be bald as shit, or like, you know, longer hair, shorter hair, stuff like that. It's not too important to me at the moment what kind of hair he has. Just look at these options. Oh, we could wear a hat too. Different types of hats and stuff. You know, we gotta collect all the hats. We'll give him a little hat, some glasses maybe, some spectacles like that, or what, like some, yeah, we'll just give him some shades and maybe some facial hair. Maybe give Sherlock Holmes here like a big old beard, if we can find a big old beard, maybe somewhere over here on the right, like big old beard. Just a beard, just a little light beard. What about a big one? I want a big old beard. That's very unattractive, I just gotta be honest. Alright, I don't think we have any really big beards. We'll just go over here to the right, look kind of like this. That's fine. Some make offers of the costume you have currently equipped and are not available at the moment, and you will reset the default. Please solve this crime case to unlock more disguise options. Okay. Apparently we don't have all that stuff unlocked. I thought it was unlocked, but apparently not. It's fine. Gotta unlock more things by doing cases, apparently. So we are in first-person mode, sort of. Okay, so we don't have the hat. Actually, we don't have anything, okay. Well, apparently we don't have any of that stuff. That's fine. It's cool. We'll just look like a regular default Sherlock. Obviously, that just kind of shows off a little bit that you have unlockables and stuff. So we can go here now. We can go to Women's League. Yeah, we can. Obviously, we just had to get dressed in our suit. We had to get out of our, like, you know, pajamas, essentially. And we can head to Women's League. Open the casebook here. I guess during the load screen. And we can look at the casebook while we're loading. We don't have much. We got to investigate the murder still. Investigate the crime scene. We selected a suit to wear, though, so we could do that. I imagine this is a loading screen, though. So what do I think of the game so far? It's very story-focused from what I've seen. We can continue. We haven't really gotten into too much gameplay. It is, like, in the Telltale sense, a very little actual control of what you're doing. It's more of an adventure-style game. Point-and-click style adventure is very reminiscent of that. You know, if you're into that, that's cool and all that. So there's obviously a police officer here because this is a crime scene.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Alright, let's go check this out. So, join Lestrade at Women's League completed. Obviously, that's like our quest book. We can use the right bumper here to look at the stone pathway, land around stone pathway, footprints. Can we investigate the footprints? Examine. Apparently we got like some kind of, so we can look at them here.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Okay, large footprints. Is that like a new clue? Selected a suit complete. All right, is that, was it like large footprints, like part of our new clues? Yeah, large footprints. Unidentified footprints, and we have the profile of the victim that he was a sailor, spent his money trying to, you know, eventually earn this place when he retired. Garden, examine.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Okay. We gotta look around for clues here. We gotta be a really good detective. That's essentially what this thing is going on. Garden was well maintained. Well, let's head up here and go talk to the police officer. I'm assuming this is the widow here that we were to talk to, the victim's wife, I imagine, but I don't know that for sure. This is just my interpretation.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
So, I guess we get some options on what we can do. Is there a gardener? Anything unusual that night? Let's start with that.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
When was the body found?
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock. I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Did he have any visitors?
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
What about the evening before the murder?
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Is there a gardener here, miss?
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
So we can X here. What does this allow us to do? So we look at her face. We can look for clues in her face. Forward. There's a clue here. Cameo. Okay. Look around for other things. Oh, religious. Catholic rosary. Yeah, there's definitely something applying religion there. The book. Crested tit. Apparently. Gardening gloves. Looks like a woman's gardening gloves. It looks like she took care of the garden. Did she lie to me about that? And then what's this? A birdhouse. So we got the character portrait complete. Everything will become easier.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
X?
Never mind.
I guess I don't know about that. How do we know about her return to Plymouth?
You have indeed suffered a great loss.
Yes, we'll skip through this conversation. Is there something we can do here?
When you first met him upon your return from Plymouth.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about
Is there something we can like select here? No, it just time goes by. Just never mind. I don't know. Okay, well let's go look around for other clues, I guess.
Thank you, madam.
We got a portrait of her. We can take a look at that. We have an interesting, character to look at. We can see here. Judith is from the country, somewhere near the ancient pipers of Inverness, Strathroy in Scotland, where the crested tit bird can be found. She's religious and undertook the St. James Way pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when she was a young woman. So we have a little bit more information about her just from the clues that were sitting around her body. Let's go by the cabin. I don't know if we're going to play through a full little mystery here, but you kind of get the idea of what the gameplay is. I'm going to do a little bit more. I am interested in what's going on, and the story is intriguing, like what happened to this guy or whatever.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Alright, so let's go check out the body. I imagine that could be full of very useful clues in here, so let's do that. But yeah, I like it.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
So somebody tried to force the door open? We can examine the door now. The door lock. Scratches. There's scratches at the door lock. That's right. We can examine them.
These scratches are fresh.
Somebody tried to pick the lock when it was locked, but the inspector locked it, so who would have been picking at the lock afterwards?
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Alright, so let's open the door and see what's in there now. It's interesting, though, that somebody tried to mess with the lock after the fact. This is very intriguing, right? If you're into this kind of thing, like solving, I don't know, kind of like mind... Ooh, that is not pleasant.
What a terrible way to die.
So we can use our little, like, vision sense here to look for clues. Anything at the body? No. The shelf? What's on the shelf? Just the empty space. Outline in the dust. Yeah, something over here.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps.
I wonder what could have been there. That's another clue, right? The mysterious missing thing. Sperm whale tooth.
Tooth of a sperm whale. Probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Probably. Oh, is there something else to examine in it? Shelf examine. This is green now, so... Okay, we've already heard that. Alright, anything else on the shelf to look at? I don't think so. Let's take a look around. Let's find some more clues. The ship's logs.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Object of interest. Oh, it's just the same thing. Okay. Wooden chest. Anything in here of value? Chest contains... it's got some boots.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Does that boots match up with the footprints outside, though? Navigation tools?
Navigation instruments. Nothing interesting.
Okay. Well, we could take the boots out and we could check to see if they have anything to do with the footprints and match them up. So we looked at the shelf, we looked in this chest. What about the body? There's got to be something going on with the body. Let's check it out. The pierced chest?
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
There's a notebook here. What does the notebook say? Rotate objects. Any direction to examine them thoroughly to look for new details. Is there any way we can open it?
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
So there's a JHN. Is that the murderer? JHN. Is that his initials or is that the murderer's initials, right? You gotta figure out the clues. C-knife. So there's a knife here. We can... Oh, there it is. Blade.
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body.
So it...
This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
So yeah, we have a notebook here with a couple initials. That's interesting. Is there anything else left on the body to examine? His clothes.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
That's interesting too. Maybe, you know, he would have slept in some kind of other pajamas and stuff, not his work clothes. I think we've examined the body enough. Let's go see if we can match that boot up with that footprint, because we did find a boot. That's interesting. Let's see. Can we do that over here? If we go to the footprints and examine them again, can we use the boot to line them up? Carries boots. Drag down. Yeah, we want to put them down on here. Is that the footprint size?
These boots don't match.
No, so whoever's wearing the... So it's definitely not Carrie that was walking through the garden here. Whoever's footprints it is had much bigger footprints. Is there any other clues that we can look for around here? Let's double check in his cabin just to make sure there's nothing we left behind. Something that could be valuable. Something on the table. Anything valuable here? Got a tobacco pouch. He's a smoker. PC.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Alright, is there anything else around here that we might be interested in looking for? Flap. Can we look in here? See? Tobacco.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
So, we gotta rotate these to kind of make a picture out of them, essentially, right? Like, it looks like it's supposed to be a ship, right? Like, there's ship parts, but we gotta make it, like, line up. How would we can move, and we can move the pieces, I see, somewhat. Like, we can move that piece. We can also rotate this around until it kind of forms a shape of a ship. This is not really lining up. Like, it kind of lined up here, but it doesn't really. I don't know. Are we supposed to rotate this around until it kind of lines up? There's a ship here, sort of like right here. We can move the smoking pipe. I don't know what significance that has. It can move up and down. Is it part of the ship? We can't move it left or right, just up and down. Okay, so we rotate this around a little bit. It's kind of almost a ship right here. Is there any way, like, rotate it? I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to solve this little puzzle, but it is a puzzle, right? These are puzzle little things. We started out somewhere like over here, and then we got to make a ship out of this. It looks like from the other side, almost the closest like a ship. But I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with the smoking pipe. Oh, we can move the tobacco leaf as well. Can we? We can move it to the left and the right. Okay, so we can move this to make the rest of the ship, I think. If we move this, we can move this slightly out and back into about here. So how do we line that up? So if we get this right here, like, we move this out, that's not really doing us too much good. It's getting out of the way. Let's move it out of the way for right now. We can move this up, and that's about as out of the way we can. There's a lot of trial and error kind of here to this puzzle. So the ship is not built here, right? It doesn't look nice enough. That looks pretty close to a ship, right? But this is, we can move this in here. That's still not looking like what it's supposed to look like, and we can move this down in here, and that's still, like, not correct, right? I'm not exactly sure what we're supposed to be doing here. I'm not extremely good at puzzles like this. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not very... Ooh, we had something. Is the tobacco leaf to move? Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can see that there's a shape in there, and it's supposed to be like a ship. But I can't manipulate enough parts of it, I think, to really make it a ship. Maybe we can, though. Where's that tobacco leaf at? It's right here. We can move this out and in. We can rotate this around a little bit. Like, you think that goes on the tail end of that ship right there? Like, right about here where we move this leaf up a little bit? Like, like right there or so. But that, I don't know where this smoking pipe is supposed to go. And that doesn't really form a full sail picture. That's a really distinct image and stuff. We can skip it? Do you really want to skip? Sure. I don't think I can complete it. We'll just complete the puzzle.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Apparently that's what the solved puzzle looks like. My bad for being bad at puzzles. If you enjoy those kind of things, obviously this game might be more up your alley than, you know.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Okay. And bottle.
Rum. A sailor's.
Rum, obviously, yeah.
It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
So he wasn't sleeping, is what the logical thing is, because he's dressed, he's enjoying a drink. Is there anything else of value to look for in here? Let's see. Let's take another look around. Yeah, you know, obviously, I like that you could skip that puzzle because I'm not very good at them, and I like to progress a little bit. But, you know, obviously, as you see, you can kind of work through it.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
I don't think I have. I want to figure some more things out here real quick. The garden is done.
It seems that the
garden was well maintained. Let's take a look around here, see if there's any other clues we can find. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to solve this episode, but you guys are getting a good idea. You got some puzzles going on here. Can we get in here? Is there anything going on?
Mr. Holmes?
Policeman. Is there something we could tell her now? Is there some clue that we found? Is there any way that we can go into her house, maybe, and find some clues there? Maybe we missed some clues at the cabin, potentially. I don't know. Obviously, you're getting a good idea what this game is. I can pretty much describe it to you. It's an adventure game where you go to crime scenes or various other things, and you play Sherlock Holmes. You're a detective. You go around and you solve puzzles, and you look for clues, and you know, find a solution. You find out who murdered this person, right? So if the footprints don't match, that's clearly a problem, right? Is there anything else out here that was valuable to see, potentially? I don't think so. What about this LB button? What does this do? I'm not sure what that even does. Obviously, there's a lot to this game. It's pretty basic, though, still. I mean, the puzzles are complicated, but it still overall seems basic. Oh, a sea unicorn.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Okay, so we obviously know that from the logbooks, though. The Sea Unicorn was the ship that he was on.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Yes, we examined the shelf, we examined everything here. I think we're done examining here.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
I have, though, I think. I haven't found anything. I'm not necessarily good about this. I'm not like the greatest detective in the world. I am not any kind of Sherlock Holmes. Hopefully you guys are still getting a good idea of what the gameplay is about, right? You look for clues and you gotta build the puzzles together. I'm gonna talk to her one more time and see if she has anything else to say now. If I anything I could bring up to her more in conversation, if that's what we're supposed to be doing next. It's not very clear, but oh, we can ask questions here. Was Peter a smoker?
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
So it might be someone else's tobacco pouch. Peter's private papers.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
She's avoiding eye contact, which means she's like the line. Everything will be easier? Is there something I can say?
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. No.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
I don't know if there's a way. We can't answer this right now. We can't quite put the words together. There's probably more clues that we need to look for. I'm not sure exactly where we look for clues.
Thank you, madam.
We got a couple more clues. The smoking pouch was not hers. I guess we could take a look at our little menu thing. Here with X, we could take a look at this, our little logbook. So we got clues, documents, evidence. Okay, boots don't match. Sharp knife. He was defending himself. Pilgrimage. Jesus carries a woman with none of these life to her unhappy marriage. Peter, she's a very religious Catholic woman who took the St. James Way pilgrimage when she was young. Outline in the dust. Something is missing. The ship's logs were there. Tobacco pouch. PC. Does she have the initials PC? No, Judith. Judith Carey. JC. So, the garden. Okay, a capable gardener works here, but it looked like her gardener gloves and not his. Maybe they were his though. Maybe I'm not even sure. Take a look around here for more potential clues. Maybe in the garden out here somewhere. Doesn't look like it. The only thing glowing is those footsteps. Let's take a look up here with our little Sherlock Holmes vision or whatever and see if we can find anything else going on. I don't think so. And I'm clearly missing something. I am more oblivious than Sherlock Holmes is. But you see here, if you're into the type of thing where you know, solve clues, look around for puzzles, you know, some people out there, this may be a frustrating game, so maybe you don't want to play it. There's something back here. No, it just looks like some scenery. Doesn't look like there's actually anything back here to find. Just being thorough, you know, exploratory. I'm sure that's what Sherlock Holmes would do. You don't ever leave a loose end, right? You look for clues wherever you may find them. I I don't know, though. I think I'm going to call it an episode, though. I think you guys got a good idea of what you do. I'm assuming there's lots of these. I'm not exactly sure how long the game is. You know, and it's free. So if you're into this kind of basic concept of you're going to go to a crime scene, you're going to look for clues, you're going to try to figure out, you know, who done it, who committed the murder. I'm thinking the lady did it, but I'm not exactly sure. The tobacco pouch doesn't make sense. But those are if you're the type of person who wants to go looking for these clues, wants to go looking for these things, and find out, you know, solve puzzles and kind of use your brain to put pieces together to solve murder mysteries, I think this game could be right up your alley. And it is free. Obviously, you could check it out for yourself and play it. Obviously, you may not have to if you have watched this video. And hopefully, if you have watched the video, you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure you leave a like rating down below. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe so you can check out more videos from me. And other than that, you guys have a good rest of your day, whatever it may be, and I will see you in the next episode.